All right, the Rockwell timepiece says it's time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in and stay a while. It's time to get coached up with another edition of the Coach Scott Field Show. And as you look around this studio here, you see a lot of Rockwell swag. That's right. I'm proud to be a brand ambassador for Rockwell. Make sure you go to rockwelltime.com. Use the code Coach20 to get 20% off of any order, or use the code Hero Coach. Buy any watch or sunglasses at regular price, and you get a free Hero watch, which supports any of the services or fire departments or police departments. So make sure you go to rockwelltime.com. Remember, you can watch us on DBTV Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. And we're lucky to be in over 300 million homes on that network. Wednesday night, CSTV, we're at 7 p.m., or the Rewind Sports 60. Outstanding networks to where you can see the Coach Scott Field Show. If you're listening to us in podcast form today, oh, can I say turn that knob up? We're about to put that flavor in your ear.
Turn it up. I like it. I love it, Coach.
Yeah,
I
hey,
like the energy.
hey, like or follow us on the Coach Scott Field Show on Facebook. And don't forget to smash that YouTube channel button to subscribe. I'm going to steal a line from my man, Dave Letterman. If you're in my circles, simply this man needs no introduction. But for you young guys who just sit there and surf on YouTube, let me tell you who my guest is today, Mr. Charles Oakley. 25th all time in the NBA in games played, 22nd on the all time list of rebounds. In 1987 to 1994, he was top 5 in rebounding. He is Virginia Union's own Mr. Charles Oakley. Oakley, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks, Scott. Doing a great job. I love
Oh,
the energy. I love the intro.
uh,
Keep doing what you're doing.
you got it, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here today to talk about this amazing book. And I've got to be
Thank you.
honest with the viewers and the listeners. When I got this book a few months ago, I would sit there and read this and I could not put it down. Thanks to our guest, he's real, he's authentic, and he doesn't hide anything. He keeps it 100 for all you young guys out there. Hey, Oak, what a great book. And what was the motivation to write this outstanding book?
um, it's just over my years of playing ball and on and off the court, people had different, like, is this old, that's old, this and that. But I think in this book, it tell you everything about Oak. My grandfather raised me from Alabama. My family, my sisters, just raised me from a little kid to high school, college, and where I'm at today. My family had a lot of inputs on myself, and I think that I didn't let no one down. Just try to be a great gentleman at all time. And then this book would tell you everything about me and what I believe in. I'm a straight shooter, and I want to thank Michael Jordan, Frank, for being a part of my book, and then all the fans who bought it. Thank you. I hope I didn't let you down.
Love that. Great segue because we're now into the one on one with the coach. So just know that Sleep Number is a proud partner and sleep partner of the NFL. And this segment is brought to you
Okay.
by Sleep Number. So, hey, out here in Salt Lake City in Sugar House, get a hold of my man Todd, 801-845-9058. And if you've never had a weightless night's sleep or technology controlled sleep, get a hold of my man Todd. Again, 801-845-9058. Oak, I love that you talked about MJ because in his forward, I love what he said. He said, yeah, you're a grill master, a little bit messy, but if he was ever in a tough situation, he said you were his man. What does that mean to you to hear Michael Jordan say those words about you?
It means a lot, especially being friends for all these years, and he when I was a rookie, that's his second year in the league. He took me to all he took me on his wings, and I've been on his wings for a long time, and we that brother like love affair. He's doing a lot of great things in life. He on the He owned the basketball team. He got the brand Nike. He's doing so much in the community. He built a couple of schools. He donated to different charities. So he's doing what a guy at his stature is supposed to do: give back and give everybody dreams and hopes in life. And hope that they can do something positive like what he's doing in life.
Amen. But let's be honest, and you're too humble to say it, so I'm going to say it for you. You are the exact same way. You're giving. You're out in the community. I mean, you're serving food to the
Right,
underprivileged communities, and a lot of people
right,
don't talk about that because it's not sexy. It's not clickbait in this
right,
crazy
right.
Twitterverse that we live in. But I mean, just like you today, giving of your time just to be on our show, I'm grateful and I'm humbled, but you know what? I love the fact that you are so authentic and you are real. And working with Frank Isola, a lot of people know him from ESPN, but why? What made you choose Frank to collaborate on this wonderful book?
Good question. It wasn't just Frank. We went through, we did our due diligence, and we went through 7, 8 guys, and then at the end we came down to Frank and this other guy. And I felt more comfortable with Frank because he was a beat writer in New York, and he knew a lot about me, about the game. And once we started writing this book, it came easy, because what he doing, that's a profession, right? And my thing is a lot of stuff people don't know me. I have a lot of stories, and I have a good conversation. So once we got together, when we did get together, we made it very, straightforward to the book. Let's do an hour here. Let's do 2 hours here. So we always kept our mind on the goal. Let's get this book out. Let's don't take forever to do it. And we did it in probably 5 to 6 months. I mean,
Wow.
not everyday basis, but we got it done for us, once we turned it in. We had so much to turn in at certain times, and we just kept going. We didn't want to wait for the next quarter. Let's go and get it out the way. And we did that. And I just want to thank Barnes and Noble, who, outlet, especially Amazon, who is the big behind us and pushing the book too.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, and I'm not just saying it's because you're on the show. We've had phone conversations, and I'm telling you, it's one of those books that when you're reading it, you just keep going from chapter to chapter. You don't want to put it down because in that era that
Right,
I was such a fan, of course, blessed to be coaching at the highest levels, but
right,
to be such a fan of yours and to hear you share the stories,
right.
the readers are not going to be disappointed. So if they haven't got a copy yet, again, you say Barnes and Noble and Amazon are where they can get a copy of
Yes,
The Last Enforcer.
yes. The book is. I'm telling you, I get so much good feedback because people said like we didn't know all this was in you. But the thing is, they said it's just the story, the consistency. As we turn page, we don't want to stop turning, and that's just a plus to Frank, his writing and putting everything in place, and the author in the book. So we just glad we were able to please the people. So once you get this book, you won't be sad. It's a book that you can get late at night. You can pick up and read a chapter and make you feel better the next day.
I like that, but that's true. That's not just a sales pitch. It's true. Matter of fact, I would be excited to when I could, set another hour aside to where I could pick it up to get back into it because you take us on a journey and you share stories that not everybody is going to share, and you were vulnerable and you opened up and let people know who the real Oak was.
Yes, I mean, that's I think playing basketball, people got one sided about me. I'm just rough and tough guy, but I'm an easygoing guy. I'm a giving guy. I'm a guy who want to see people do well in life, and that's why I go back and give back to the inner cities, probably families and whoever I can help at all times. And I see someone walking down the street, someone walk up, I give them something. I just want to see somebody happy. That's what I stand for, and I'm gonna keep doing that. And I always try to tell other athletes you don't have to get paid to help someone else. If you got money, try to help someone because you never know when you need help.
Yeah, amen to that, Oak. And I'm glad that you shared that because in the forward when you start the book, in a minute ago you mentioned your grandfather, Julius Moss. He talked. You learned about hard work, and you talked about
Right,
being a man of his word. And Oak, I'm going to
right.
tell you that you were too because we started talking before the big three, and I'm like, Oak, would love to get you on your show, and you're like, let's do it, coach. And I was like,
Right.
and then here we are several months later, and we're sharing stories just like you said you were going to do. So a lot of people in this industry are not like that. They're going to talk a big game, but then when it comes to it, when the rubber meets the road, it never happens. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you're right. It's just like I didn't know you from bad over here, bad over there, but I gave you an opportunity to talk to me, to hear what you wanted to talk to me about. And when you told me that you want me to bring you on your podcast and talk about things in the book and you know my walk of life and this and that, and that's an honor to me. I try to always the fans come first in my book,
Wow.
and I would try to if I can help them, like I'm helping you do something like that, I think it's a plus because sometimes you can't reach everybody when you're on the court, but when you're off the court, you can reach more people.
Amen. And it's just a matter of having a servant heart. And it doesn't even have to be money. It's just sharing your time. And
Right.
the fact that you're sharing your time today, man, God bless you. And, keep doing what you're doing. Talking
Thank you.
about the book, because I'm not going to share everything about the book because I want the
Right.
viewers to
It's
go
okay.
out get it and read it. But some of the things I want to talk about, hey, you had this bald guy laughing. Talking about Jerry Krause. And of course,
Oh yeah.
when people watch The Last Dance, you kind of saw
Yes.
some of the animosities and things, but you guys had the nickname for him Crumbs. Tell that story about Crumbs.
Yes. So in '85, it was swapped from Cleveland to Chicago. So Cleveland drafted me and traded me to Chicago. So once you get traded, you go to the city, you meet and greet, you go to the press conference for the first time. Then once the season starts, it's always a dinner for a charity. So we had a charity dinner for JDF, and I think that we was on all the players on the front on front seats facing the crowd, and we were calling everybody up there to say something. And when it got to me, and Jerry was still standing up there, and I said, Jerry, it's something on your shoulder. It wasn't crumb, it was dandruff from his hair. So we just called him Crumbs from there because Jerry was a great guy, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry he's not here. Rest in peace, Jerry, his family. He drafted me, he traded me, he brought me back, but he gave me a chance to play from a small Division II school, Virginia Union. I want to shout out Virginia Union, but thanks Jerry for doing his homework. He found something special, even though he traded me, but he brought me back. But it was just to see him draft me, Scotty and Horace. Scotty went to a small school, but Horace went to Clemson. But he didn't mind going outside his reach. Not just staying at Division I school. He went to the NIA,
Yep.
NIT, CIAA, all different conferences. And that's why Ben Wallace from Union, Terry Davis, AJ, all these guys played the NBA, with the Virginia Union, small black college.
Yeah, and see, and I'm glad you mentioned that because when you think of Virginia Union, I mean, you were the D2 player of the year, defensive player of the year. And the fact that, he didn't listen to everybody saying, oh, who did he
Right.
play against? Or, who's the competition that he's going, you know what? He saw a niche that and a role that you could come in and be that guy to do the
Right.
dirty work in a physical game as the rules were back then. And man, it just seemed to work out very well for you.
It did, and Jerry was a guy. He kept everything in house.
Yep.
So when I was gonna get drafted, I didn't know they were saying second, third, fourth round. Next thing I know, it was top 10, and I was, I didn't even go to the draft. Make it so bad 'cause I didn't know. I didn't want to be embarrassed. Come from a small school and going 34th round, but they took me number 9 overall, and it was hey, I went there. As soon as I went there, I wanted to work to just show them that they they made a great pick, and I'm gonna show them that they can trust in me.
Yeah, I like that. Let me ask you this because coming from a small school that didn't have a lot of press, didn't have a lot of notoriety, did that also provide a chip on your shoulder to show that, hey, I'm going to prove you did right by picking me and I'm going to outwork everybody in here every day? Was that something that you carried throughout your career just to, prove everybody that, hey, I belong?
No doubt, because once you're a senior in college and they invite you to All-Star games, I went to the PIT East and West All-Star game. Hawaii Classic. So all them guys were Division I players. And only guy I really knew was Big House Gaines from Winston-Salem State. He coached the team. But besides that, it was like, all the big guys coming out. So I had to really prove myself. Like the East and West All-Star game, Hawaii game, and I held my own. And I know in the East and West All-Star game, I had Dean Smith with the coach, right? So Dean Smith was telling guys, you pass the ball twice and shoot. So my thing is, okay. A lot of guys was like passing the ball once, he would take them out. Pass the ball, he was taking them out. So I said, I'm on the guy still in the court from the starting five. So I must be doing something right because he left me out there. So I was passing the ball. I'm passing it 3 times. You gotta tell me, tell me twice, I'm passing one more just in case. I wanted to stay on the floor and show my talent. But no, that was just one of good experience. But I understood what he was talking about. A lot of guys got caught up to their height.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that because not only did you have the work ethic and a chip on your shoulder and would just go out there and bruise and bang and do all the dirty work, but you also had listening skills because you heard him say 2 passes and then shot. You were going to make sure that they were 2 good passes, get your angles right on your screens because you're going to stay on the floor
Right.
and show them.
Yep.
I love that. Love that. Some other great stories, you had within the book. I found it interesting that you threw out a number and you said 60 to 70% of the NBA at that time was out there smoking weed. I mean, I'm sure it's still
Yeah.
prevalent and now it's a little more, it's not as taboo, but was that something that you would just observe on a daily basis?
It was going around.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's legal now, but I thought it was legal back
Medicinal. It's
then.
medicinal. Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's legal now, and I think a professional should be a professional all the time. I mean, I know guys drink this and that, but you see guys in clubs smoking weed, and, just like it, this guy just watching on TV now, you smoking, and it's not a professional. I
Yeah.
think that sometimes you can go ahead and have a drink here and there. Maybe you shouldn't be drinking if you can't control it, but when you blowing smoke up in there and this and that, and people looking up at you, I think people start looking at you kind of sideways. But each his own.
Yep.
NBA changed the rule. They don't test no more. When you don't test, what to expect? A
Yeah.
lot of guys get in trouble. So they got few guys right now in trouble in the league because of smoking.
Making
This
poor
mixing
choices.
with that. So you got to be careful what you do. Everything cause something illegal or something is okay to do. It might not be for everybody to do.
Yeah. And see, and I like that. It sounds like we're some old heads sitting here talking, but there is a professionalism to it. And you got to take care of your body. And you knew that if you're putting illegal substances in your body, you couldn't perform at the level you needed to perform. And we're not throwing anybody under the bus. Well, that's just an observation. So, kudos to you for knowing that your body is an asset and what you put in your body is how your body's going to
Right.
produce for you when you're out there trying to bang against the best every night.
Well, they have to put themselves in other people's shoes too. Say if you're the CEO of a company and somebody coming in high every day, drunk every day, you're not gonna like that.
Yeah.
So just think about what you're doing when you wouldn't want on your job too. But NBA is, hey, they got a lot going on. A lot of these guys making big money, and I'm glad of that. I'm not a hater.
Yep. Yep. Amen. You also talked about Coach Pat Riley, and you mentioned like Navy SEALs. Talk about Coach Riles and what did you learn from him and being around him and just, absorbing that hard nosed style that he had.
Well, I think that he was a great coach for me because like installing this rules, regulation, to some guys probably my thing I can play for anybody, do anything for anybody. But
Yep.
he came in, as a coach and won a championship with the Lakers. And excuse me.
Bless
Thank you. Excuse me. So my thing is, listen to a man and done something. He had a championship ring, and that's what we were trying to get in New York. So we went through his training and this and that. He gonna hold you accountable, and I like this. Some guys can't handle that. Some guys
Yeah.
got a little frustrated, but he took it to the finals. We lost against Houston. He had his rules, regulations, and hey, I'm a player. I had to buy by him.
Yeah, and see, and I like that because you use the key word accountability. he had a high ceiling. He has high
Yeah.
expectations, and he's going to push the right buttons to get the most
Yep.
out of you to help you maximize not only individually but collectively as a team.
As a
And
team.
the fact that you say accountable, you got to be accountable for your actions on and off the court every day to be a pro like
Yes.
you were, or you wouldn't be 22nd all time in games played because you had to take care of your body and do what was right.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think that a lot of that comes with it, taking care of your body. He definitely had a body a weight check. He had to be on 10% fat. First day of training camp, you had to do 17 under 65 seconds. So he's building you up. I mean, I think that it's good that you had to come to camp and shake. So some guys come to camp to get in shape. So it's good for him to set a seed, plant that seed, and let them know that hey, be ready to play, be ready all time. More you ready, the more we can get through as a team, more we can learn, more we can gel together.
Yeah, amen. Because again, he had won a championship with the Lakers, and here you guys are out there with the Knicks, and I mean, you got Patrick Ewing, you got John Starks, you got Anthony Mason. I mean, you guys had some ballers, and you were going hard. So I love the fact that there was that accountability there, and you guys pushed and challenged each other.
Yeah, we did a lot of that. I think that, and we made sure we took care of ourselves, not hanging out at night in the streets, getting in trouble. We didn't want to read about nobody at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Then we got a game like, what are you doing out? Why are you getting in trouble? But we stayed out of trouble. To be in New York, that was good. I think that New York is
Yeah,
a big city. So a lot of things can happen. And I think we, as players, we have to, like if I see someone out past a time they shouldn't be out, but I hear about it, I go talk to them, like, what's going on? Why. But people can go to dinner and hang with their family and know it's a business. And I know that especially if we got a game the next day, we don't we don't suggest to hang out past 12 or 1 o'clock at night. It's not professional.
yeah, and see, I love that. So, ladies and gentlemen,
And I
again, we're
hope that
talking.
12, 1 o'clock you be going home from dinner, not from a club.
That's right. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, again, you're watching the Coach Scott Field Show. Honored and humbled to have the great Charles Oakley here with us again. Brought to you by Sleep Number. If you haven't been on a Sleep Number or you've been into the show houses, get in there. Sit on that mattress. Man, it's a Mercedes of mattresses. It's going to sell itself. So we appreciate Sleep Number. Oak, again, some great stories in your book, The Last Enforcer. And I think the name is so appropriate because the game at that time was so physical. And you had your teammates back no matter which team you were on. It didn't matter if you was on the Bulls, the Knicks, the Raptors, again, returning back to the Bulls. You were going to go hard and you had your guys back and you looked out for each other. But I think that also sets a culture and sets a tone. Did you take pride in that role, being called the enforcer?
I mean, they didn't call me the enforcer like my teammate, maybe some other teams and people around the league, NBA, but I think that was just being a big brother. Like I say, when you're a big brother, you show your other brothers the tricks. But my thing is, I was always taught with somebody on your team, you got to have their back. Don't let anybody pick with your teammate. From MJ, like I said, Vince, Tracy, them guys, some smaller guys, big guys should be able to take care of themselves. But no, I just felt like, leadership. I want to show management I can be a leader in all of them different aspects while I'm on the court, not just a guy who can be banging and just think. I took the leadership role. And then when you're a leadership role, I tell different people, you got to do stuff and be held accountable. If you don't do something right, the other guy is not going to do it. When you go sideways, you can't lead somebody. And that's why I tell people got leadership mixed up a lot. It ain't just because you get 25 points and you get all the highlights of the jersey sale. No, leader is someone do good structure and somebody can look at him like, wow, I got to do this. I got to do that.
Yeah, I love that. Love what you're saying because you're preaching to the choir. And I do believe that, someone out there who's just chirping, but don't back it up with their actions. I think
Right.
leading by example is a great form of leadership. And you did that because not only did you talk the talk, you walked the walk. And if somebody got in a skirmish, you were there. You were shoving
Right.
somebody. Rick Mahorn comes at you. You ain't backing down. You're going to go at Rick Mahorn and be like, yo, that's my guy. So I
Yeah.
think respect is something that's earned It's not given to you. And you earned the
Right.
respect of not only your teammates, you earned respect of the league because they knew, you know what? If I'm coming in the lane, I'm probably going to get hit. I'm going to,
Right.
that we're going to get bumped because hey,
Yeah.
Oaks got my back. True or false?
True. But back then, I mean, hey, that was an advantage for my team. You know, especially my guy trailing on defense. I got to bump his man, or they know that they just can't be shortcut through the paint. You got to go roundabout. You know, you got to go the long way home. Come through the paint, you got to pay the toll. So, but no, it
Amen.
was just one of them things. I think the leadership. I always try to tell guys, you know, I got your back. Just play basketball, play smart, and we go out and fight together. Sometimes, you know, we can't win them all, but long we know we had a good fight on the court and we had a good plan as a team. And we know what happened, how we lost, and we might have missed a jump shot, some free throws here and there. So we can live with it. But we go out just playing loosey goosey, don't have no good chemistry. That's not nothing.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
just try to tell guys, hey, I'm here to set picks, rebound. I'm not trying to score a lot of points. You know, maybe I should have shot more, but I figure out I can do the rough stuff. These guys, the more sexy players, shoot jump shots, cross people over. So that's what I tell the sexy players. I looked out for them.
Yeah, I like that because again, that's just real talk. I, I've been blessed to have traveled the globe and won multiple championships, and then got to be around Coach Sloan again. May he rest in peace, a Hall of Fame coach who was tough nosed,
Right.
hardworking. I truly believe, Oak, and correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that player led teams are going to be more successful than a coach led team because sooner or later the coach's voice is going to get tuned out. But if you've got players out there who are setting the tone, setting the culture, that team in longevity is going to have more success because you guys with your peer pressure in that locker room will push each other harder than what any coach could ever do. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. And though, back in our era, a lot of teams brung the team together. It wasn't the management coach. It's the guys. You know, I hate to give Detroit credit, but I'm gonna give them a little credit. How they brung their team together. Had a good coach, and I think I'm talking about when Larry Brown coached them. They won the championship. The Ben Wallace, the Chauncey Billups, Cheeve, Rip, all them. They didn't have that a top 10 superstar on their team, and Ben is undersized center, but they got together and Rip and Chauncey, we gonna do all the shooting. She do the post. Ben, you rebound, and they seem like they was a good knit team together. And
Yeah.
Larry Brown was a seasoned coach, but sometimes he can wear on you. But I think them guys say when we on the floor, we know what we got to do. Like a
That's
Ray
right.
Lewis in Baltimore.
Yeah.
You look at football, how he did that and galvanized them guys every week, and just tell them, hey, I'm gonna lead by example. When I come out and do my dance, everybody get on the field, I'm gonna dance some more.
I
So
love.
it's just one of them things. It's just it kind of guys to be around you. Sometimes guys try to go the other way, but I think that when you can get everybody to buy in, you got a good chance every night.
Amen. Amen. Love hearing those nuggets because, like you said earlier, everybody wants to be sexy. Everybody wants to score 25, 28.
Right.
You can't get done that way. You got to embrace your role, be a star in your role, know what your role is, and be the best at it. And your market value is going to increase. And I think you you realized that early, and man, you were a defender, you were a rebounder, and again, you had your guys back that no matter what, hey, when it goes down, I'm here.
That's what I think in today's game. I don't think coaches sitting these teams down. This your role, this your role. Because some of these teams, you see guys shooting threes, and shouldn't be shooting threes, guys taking quick shots, and they wonder why the chemistry is not there. I mean, if you look at Memphis, if Memphis had more chemistry, they could have beat Golden State, but they
Yep.
was too loose and goose. Everybody felt like they was open.
Yep.
And that's when the coach got to, like this year, should be, hey, know why we lost to Golden State? 'Cause we have everybody engaged who are main 2 or 3 superstars there. You can't have 5 superstars unless you're an all-star dream team.
Yep.
That okay, yeah, okay, we can take them shots. But most of these teams in the league, you're gonna have 2 or 3 good players, and you gotta play off your best player. And I think that Memphis and Minnesota. They can get their chemistry together. It's a good young team, Cleveland. It's some teams got some talent. It just can they gel quick enough? They're young. They keep so you young. They keep drafting young. That's causing a problem because everybody can't get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what happens is the league is so saturated with talent who don't know and understand the game and haven't matured physically, mentally, and aren't ready
Right.
for that 82
Right.
game grind to get there. And that's where that culture comes in of hard work and knowing your role. And again, be galvanized and know what your role is, because that's what's going to help you get from the first round to the second round. Because I tell everybody a lot, you know, NBA Summer League is one thing, regular season is another thing. And all of a sudden, when you get to that playoff level, ooh, we win bonuses,
Uh,
and you're working on somebody's paychecks and incentives,
right.
man. That's when the men lace them up and go to work.
Yeah. I think that you got to know and you got to be ready at all time. And, being a pro, that's why you see some guys come out and don't get a second contract. You can't be in the top five and don't get a second contract in this day and time. I mean, you got to average 10 points or 12 points. You're going to get paid. And that's why if I'm a guy, I get to the league, I got to get to the second contract. The first contract is a given because you picked in the top first. The next one, that's the one you're going home with.
Yeah, I like that. That's so true. And again, thanks for sharing those nuggets of wisdom here for our viewers. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we got Charles Oakley. Um, come on, let's be honest. We're talking about over 12,000 points in his career, over 12,000 rebounds in his career. And if you don't have a notepad out right now, taking down notes, shame on you. You don't want it that bad. That's all I'm going to say. Good stuff here, Oak. Let's talk a few more stories here. I mean, you were a 1994 NBA All Star. What did that feel like walking into that locker room, looking around at the other All Stars, and being like, "Man, I made it." What was that like walking into that locker room, looking around, and being like, "Hey, not only did I make it, I belong, and hey, I'm with you."
Yes, good question. I thought I was going to be in there before then because I had the numbers. It was just so many great players in front of me. Mikhail Barkley, all these guys playing power forward, Buck Wing. I mean, it was load of guys in the power forward position. And, I got a break and, it was great getting on the, now, number one, we got snow. It was snowed in, so we had to take a private plane from Teterboro. I was on there with Derek Coburn and Kenny Anderson.
Oh,
And we also on the same All-Star team. So they flew us up there private. And when we got to Minnesota, it was like 3 degrees, about 15
oh,
below that night. So it was a cold All-Star weekend, but it was fun in the locker on the bus, like going to like shoot around. Here comes Shaq. Here come, Patrick, John was on there. So, just seeing these guys, okay, we see them on the court. Now we see them never on the same bus. It
yeah.
was kind of funny. Because, Shaq was Zoe and Patrick, Georgetown, and then LSU Shaq. So it was real funny because see them guys bang against one another and had a little chip on his shoulder. I was like, okay. I said, yeah, all the big guys, I see y'all now. But it was fun though. It
That's
was it was fun though.
what's one of the fondest memories, whether it was on the bus or in the locker room, where guys are, bringing up, putting on their shoes so they can market their shoes. But was there a comical situation in the locker room that happened that just kind of resonates with you? Where
I
you're like,
think
that's awesome.
I think it was more of the bus, the ride to the arena. It wasn't that long, but it
Yeah,
was just like who was on there. It
yeah.
was like me, Zoe, Shaq, Patrick, Derek Coleman, Ken Anderson, and just the rest of the
Ooh.
other guys. But it was just fun, like let's see where everybody gonna get on the bus. And are they gonna fill their regular seats on their team? Or everybody gonna come? Most guys like to sit, big guys like to sit in the back. The smaller guy like to sit up front. So it
Yeah.
was kind of little. I was like, yeah, okay. But no, it was
Oh,
fun though.
yeah.
Scotty was on there. It was fun though.
Yeah, I love hearing that, because again, those are going to be memories that's going to last forever. And truly, the NBA is a fraternity and there's a brotherhood there. I mean, you respected each other, but yet that generation still wanted to beat each other, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So talk
yeah.
about that a little bit. Who was it that you had circled on your calendar because you knew it was going to be a battle for 48 minutes? Who was that guy? You're like, man, here we go.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I slayed all 82 games because I think I had to come out and play with the energy and effort. And I didn't take no stuff, but I didn't just have no one single game for one person. I just, like I
Yeah,
said, I just tried to bring it every game. And I know it's hard to bring it every game, but I showed up every game. What happened after that? Nothing I can control.
I like that. But let's talk about that, Oak. What does it take? Because I call them the elite, the one percenters, because you got NBA players and you got NBA all stars, and there's a difference with that
Right,
mindset. Talk about
right.
that mindset of being an NBA all star. What did you have to learn early on how to take care of your body, the proper nutrition, the proper rest, the proper hydration? Talk about what you did to try to gain an advantage and be ready for 82 games, because there was none of this, hey, I'm sitting out, because it's a back to back.
Right. Well, I think it started like, August, September, building up to October, November. You go from there. I think a lot of guys have worked out early, like the beginning of the season. But my thing is, you got to work out for 82 games. You can't once you get to training camp. Some people slack up. You got to go harder. And that was I always did that. I feel like because I'm playing physicality, I'm banging every night. I'm getting hit in the face, hit in the shoulder, back. I'm gonna get bumps and bruises. So my thing is I had to be strong the whole season. I couldn't take time off. I hit the weight rooms a couple of days a week during the season. I hit it hard, but it's a lot. Like I said, get your rest. My thing, I didn't have no rituals for like eating. I just eat what I wanted. I just get your sleep and come ready to play. That was my mindset. I didn't let the food control me. I know like MJ's always eat a steak and potatoes for a game. So basically just know what your body can take and what it can't take. And but on the court, you should know what you can do, what you can't do, and you got to know. Like everybody said, most coaches back then would play you maybe about 16, 17 minutes the first half. Maybe 20 the second half. So 35, 37 minutes a night. So you have to be prepared for that. And then sometimes you have a blowout, you might not play, but high 20s. But most times you're gonna play your minutes.
Yeah. So, and I love that you talked about that, because as a professional athlete and an elite professional athlete, you have to be in tune with your body and listen to your body. When you have aches and pains, but you can play through
Right.
aches and pains, but you can't play through an injury. What was it like being in tune with your body for that long? Because I mean, you're like a Cal Ripken for playing so many years with
Right.
servicing
Right.
multiple teams. What is it like to have to be able to say, you know what, I know I can play through this?
I think back in our era, we did play through a lot.
Yeah.
Bumps and bruises. You gonna get bumps and bruises. Your jam thumbs, a hamstring, a little groin here and there. I think guys didn't pay attention to that because I know back then so much talent. If you set out more than a week or so, somebody had your job. So that made you want to play every game, and that you had to work every game too.
So let's be honest. You don't see that in today's game. I mean, the rules have changed. It's more of a,
Right.
a space and pace, more three pointers, less physicality. The rules are set for offensive numbers because it's
Right.
fan friendly. When you see these guys now who are taking games off, load management, what does that mean to you when you're watching? Are you thinking, man, we're just getting softer, or what would you do to
Um.
increase that competitiveness? Because man, you were a competitor.
I think it's just it's the way basketball is today. It's a whole different type of basketball. It's not physical it used to be. Guys, they take their time coming back. I guess it's according what team you're on. I mean, you're on a good team, like a LeBron or Draymond or Katie, them guys, like them guys don't really get hurt too much. So basically, some guys were forced to play because of, like I'm playing with LeBron, KD, I'm gonna play. But some other team they might take 2 or 3 weeks off. It should be taking off maybe 2 or 3 games. So that's the big thing is you take 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 games off, or you take 2 or 3 weeks off. So
Right.
some people they milk the cow for real. As you can just see, they
Again,
really
that's
milk the
real talk.
cow.
That's real talk right there. There's
They
that
milk the
authenticity.
cow. And some people, you jam your thumb or something, you can play with that. But these guys, they're gonna take a week or 2 weeks off. But that's how they raised like that. So I guess it's inside of. So I'm just glad I didn't have a lot of guys that like hurt us as a team. We need you, and said like you can play, but I'm gonna wait a while. No, go if you can play, you can play,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you'll get some guys. I like James Harden did last year. He was hurt, but he wanted to play. Sometimes you can play. Some guys can't play hurt. Like Cleveland had Baker Mayfield last year. He said, "I play hurt." Some guys can't play hurt. If you ain't that good, you can't play hurt. If you're an asset for like a 20, 30-point score and the team needs you, you got to play. If you don't play, the team ain't got a good chance of winning. But I think the best guys play through injury. That's what I was, I was around like the guys who like I'm gonna play through, but taking off something with a jam thumb, taking off 2 or 3 weeks.
Come on now.
But
Come on.
some some some
That's ice cream soft. Come on, let's be real.
nah, it's just a different era. These guys, I mean, that's how the team run it. That's how they run their teams. A lot of teams don't force guys to do stuff, and I think back in the day, they didn't force us. We wanted to play.
That's right.
It's a
That's
difference.
exactly right. You just wanted to compete. So let me ask you this. What's one of the most painful injuries that you were playing through? Give the viewers an
Uh,
example.
Probably one of the. I got hit in my eye socket by Patrick, and then I had to come back. I had to wear a mask for about 2 weeks or something like that. That was more the pain I ever played with. But we all have twist ankle, hamstring. That just come with playing basketball.
Yeah.
A lot of running and stopping side to side. But
Yeah.
we did, like I said, we just tried to play through it, and they'll give you some ice or hot back in the day, so give you a pad and tell you come on with it.
Yeah. Do you wish that you played in this era where there's more technology and more science and the hyperbaric chambers and the rest and recovery that they have? Do you think would you have been a Tom Brady of basketball with the science and
Uh,
technology that they have now? Because
no,
you
I
got that
think
tough mentality, Oak. Let's be honest.
no, I had the tough mentality, but NBA, I was blessed and I was lucky to play the years I played because they started after 13, 14 years, they started getting rid of you if you
Yeah,
make it that far. I just, I was a veteran, went to a team, and plus I had leadership. So teams always looking for leadership back then,
that's
and I hung on extra 4 years, 5 years. I went at my best, but I brought something to the table. I still have the toughness, the smarts, and I can lead. And
yeah,
you can lead, you can always have to get a job around. So
that's
that
right.
was important to me. Go to other teams, show guys the rope, show guys with respect, and like Vincent Tracy, with the Toronto, showing them how to do this, do that, be a professional, dress, eat, whatever. You go out different places. Don't use your credit card. Sometimes use cash. Now it's a credit card system, so you have to use a credit card just about.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's good stuff right there. Because, Oak, I believe this. Great players make great coaches out of us in a hurry. And man, would I have loved to had two or three of you in my career? Because I'd probably still be in the league.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no
like it. You mentioned, Tracy and Vince, and so in your mind, playing with a Michael Jordan and playing with a Vince Carter. This is not throwing anybody under the bus, but what was the difference in their kind of play and their style of play? Because Vince, again, high flyer, half man, half amazing. But what did you see in his growth and development in the time that you was with a Vince Carter?
That's a very great. That's a very good question. The difference between Michael and Vince, wow, probably because both of them went to Carolina.
Yep.
Um, I think Michael, I think he saw it before Vince that when he met to this league, the team he had behind off the court, and they saw it. They saw the vision first, and I think Vince got it as late on. But I think that MJ charity more than Vince. He took advantage of it. Vince
Yeah.
didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And
Great stuff.
I think that to play with MJ and the 3 years I did when I first got in the league, that he was just special.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
He's just
could
different.
walk,
Just different.
talk. Yeah, he just had the advanced moves, just jumping, athletic, just happy-go-lucky.
Yeah. See, and I think that's again, that's just real. I, again, I think about all the players that you've played with. Who was your favorite role player that you played with, where you're like, hey, I've got his back, I know he's got my back, and I can depend on him, and I know he's going to go hard. Who was that guy?
That was Anthony Mason.
Ah,
Anthony Mason, my
talk
guy.
about that.
Rest in peace. I mean, he was just once he got on the team in New York, it was he was 6'7", 260, 270, feisty, quick, can dribble the ball and get it to people. He was one of the best defenders. He was just, he had some of the same bark in us. We're not gonna let nobody come in our way. We got to be real good friends and hanging out in New York. He from New York, and we embraced the city. And we probably the only two really just we went out to dinner, went to a few other places, but most time we end up in the same place, and we just we got to be real tight. And
Yeah.
when he left us back, some years, and rest in peace. We lost a real soldier, and I know that I had a warrior with me. I
Yeah.
had him beside me.
See,
For us, for us, the physical of basketball, but overall, if you want to talk about the best guy, that's MJ at all time.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Love what you said there again. Rest in peace, Mace. You guys were definitely cut from the same cloth, because there wasn't many with your DNA back in the day who night in, night out, consistently competing the way that you guys did. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're
Right.
talking to our man Charles Oakley. The book, The Last Enforcer, where he collaborates with his friend Frank Isola. Make sure you go out and get that book. Talking about stories and talking about the book itself. Um, was there anything that was left out of the book that you wish was in there?
Uh, Not really, because hopefully we'll do a sequel to this book, and we'll do a sequel to it. I got more stories, so the stories will be here. They will continue the flow if the book come out, the next book come out. So we got a good chance that we're gonna get it out. Just want to keep giving people the real about me, and something to smile about, and something to like, wow. I hope Oak do another one. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we definitely gonna try to do another book, and we got some more stories. It's some good stories. I didn't want to. I ain't want to hit them too hard. I took it light on this book for real, though. People like you took it light. I said I took it light. The
it.
next book you're gonna have to get a book stand or something to hold your book while you read it, because it's gonna be so hot. I just keep telling everybody this is my B work. So the A work is still to come.
Ooh, man, Oak, I can't wait. And when that comes out, let's get on here and let's promote that thing like we're
Oh yeah,
doing
we
this
gotta
one.
revisit this. We're gonna have to revisit this whole setup.
Yeah,
I like your spirit, coach.
I
I
appreciate that,
like your
brother.
spirit.
I appreciate that. So be looking for that, viewers and listeners. Oak is going to be putting out book number 2, and he gonna come with the juice on this one now. Okay? Hey,
Yes.
you think this one's fire? He coming with the juice, and that's a grill master who knows
Yeah.
fire. Good deal. So let's talk just a couple more stories here. You talk. How about when Rick Pitino leaves the Knicks and goes to University of Kentucky? What was that like? What was that feel? In the locker room.
It was fun. Rick was a fun guy. We still talk to this day. We had invested to some horses together in Kentucky, but anyway. Now Rick was a guy. He wanted to get up and down the court. He wanted to shoot threes, and we had the bomb squad, and Patrick was the guy who wanted the ball in the post. So little conflicts of interest, but he was a fun guy to play for. I think that he knew the game. Like I say, he's just good to be around. And he was like, he's funny because, Rick, he started talking to you, you don't stop. But the guys like the Rick, it didn't work out with him in New York, but like I say, he went to Kentucky. So
He's still doing his thing.
still coaching to this day. So he's
That's
still
right.
coaching.
Still doing his thing. Hey, and he was someone that I looked up to as I was coming up through the ranks because I just loved his energy and I loved his passion and I loved the fact that he was just an excellent communicator. And I tried to put all that in
Oh
my
yeah.
bag as I was climbing the ranks. So yeah, Coach Patino, shout out there. One quick story: Tyrone Hill. Give him just an appetizer. Give a little Tyrone Hill.
Yeah, Tyrone Hill. Those guys funny. So you say the story about in the locker room the day he was. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell half of the story. I'm gonna tell
Yeah, yeah.
90% of the story. Anyway, we play in Philly. It's a regular season. You know, you play 4 5 times a year. So first time we go to Philly, I'm in my locker room, and Tyrone Hill, he had owed me some money. So anyway, he didn't give it to me. So we get in the locker room. Somebody sent me some flowers. So I look at the flowers. So I told my name, and I called a ball boy over, right? I said, get this to Tyrone Hill. So I said, from Charles Oakley to Tyrone Hill and some flowers. So I get a ball boy, I gave him $100. I said, go put this in his locker. I said, when he walk in, just watch him and see what he do. So he said he walked in, he saw the flowers in his locker, he started smiling. So as he started smiling, get to his locker, he started reading it. He said the ball boy said he see my name on it. And the ball boy said he started coughing. And he coughed and then he told the team he had a cold. He went back home. He didn't play that game. So he didn't. So the same ball boy, I seen him back a few months. He still works for Philly to this day. The
Oh man.
Tyrone Hill story.
Well,
It's a few Tyrone Hill stories in the book. It's funny
yeah,
though.
yeah, exactly. Let's say we'll just give them the appetizer right here. We just
Yeah.
got a couple minutes here. Let's end on a
Okay.
high note. More pressure, hitting a free throw, shooting 2 free throws, a one-on-one, down 1 point with 3 seconds to go, or dancing with the stars.
Dance with the Stars.
How hard was that?
That was hard. Free throws, I could make free throws, but dance was coming down them steps. I was coming out that first routine. Cause everybody say, you know, they said I wasn't nervous or nothing, but coming down them steps and remember your routine. I mean, that minute seemed like 10 minutes. So the girl, she was real, Emma, she was real cool. But my thing is coming down those steps and getting that routine. Then almost at the end, she smacked me in the face. It was nice. I'm glad I experienced that. I met a lot of people. It was a challenge. No, and I see MJ. He said, "Man, they could have gave me $5 million to do this." I said, "Well, it was during the pandemic. My mom, everybody, because the last time they saw me on TV when I was getting pulled out of Madison Square Garden, so I
Right?
was trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth, and I just said, I'm gonna go and dance with the star and do my best I can do. But that second week, I got it together like James Brown, but
Ooh.
they didn't vote me over the third week. So I had a ball. I thank them for bringing me on there. I challenged myself, and hey, I'm not the best dancer, but I did it.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, that showed that showed some character because I'll tell you
A
what,
lot of guts.
not a lot of guys are going to go out
Yeah.
there and have intestinal fortitude to do what you did after. So hey,
Well, the routine, the rehearsing 4 and 5 hours a day. You got to keep doing
woo,
the same thing over and over, this and that. And then the tricky thing was they put a new routine in before you finish the first dance. So
oh,
like the third day or fourth day, I'm working on the next week, the following week routine. So sometimes you can get caught doing both routines in the same dance. But
wow,
lucky I was clever enough to make it through both weeks, but I had fun though. That was the most important fun. It was
that's right.
fun, but I know everybody like, wow, okay, oh, just pull back. You not a dancer. I said, I'm not. It's not about you can dance. It's about can you learn the routine.
There you go. Hey, and that takes some discipline, man, and a lot of practice and hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Charles Oakley, and man, what a fun time we've had here. We got to have you come back because we didn't even talk about James Dolan. We didn't even talk about all the stuff people thought we would talk about, but I had a
Right.
blast with you, brother. I had a
Well,
blast.
hey, we can revisit this in the next 4 or 5 months. Whatever you want, just hey, when I got your message and stuff, I call you ASAP. I try
Amen.
to when people ask me to do something, I try to let them know, hey, if I can't do it now, I can do it later. So I'm glad I fulfill your needs. I'm glad you were thinking about me. Thanks for having me on your show, Coach.
Man, I appreciate you. We are going to do this again. I promise you, this was a good time. So, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Oakley, the enforcer. Go out, get the book, and like he
Thank you.
said, this one here, there's another one coming for it. So, this one you get in your library, you will be entertained thoroughly. Again, support Sleep Number. Sleep Number, proud sponsor of One on One with the Coach. Hit up my man Todd, 801-845-9085. He can help you anywhere throughout the country, but man, get you a great rest and recovery, especially if you're an athlete. And again, thank you to my friends at Rockwell, rockwelltime.com. Use those codes, hit them up. Much love. Oakley, I appreciate you, brother. I will be in touch.
All right, Coach.